favorite.
It's Judd's Hockey Show.
Clearly, we've, clinched a playoff spot, so we've got some time. We can talk about it. We've got some time before the playoffs, but you have to keep playing the right way. We may not get the results every night, and you may not score goals every night, but you still have to play the right way. So our group has been very conscious of that for the most part. But yeah, Kevin, I think that is who we're going to see the rest of the way. And obviously it'll be great for us.
Judd's Hockey Show after a eventful weekend of wild games. Zolgad and Declan Goff and T. Nevison there talking about Kevin Fiala's marvelous game on Sunday. But Dex, I feel like we owe it to the people. Being the one entity or one of the few in this town, especially electronically, that doesn't try and sugarcoat things, I feel we owe it to the people to get into a discussion about, with 8 games until the playoffs, what's going on here. Because the Wild came back and won against the Sharks on Sunday. Now, that's a team that they 1,000% should beat. They lost 6-5 in overtime to the Blues on Saturday. They had to make a furious rallies type of comeback to tie the score in the third, and they did that, and then they lost in OT. But Dean Evison said something there I don't agree with completely, and that is, for the most part, we played the game the right way. Last night had large chunks in which the Wild did not play the game the right way. The St. Louis game, and in both cases, the St. Louis game and the Sharks game are very comparable. The second periods were atrocious. You can't play like that. You will lose in the playoffs. You will be ousted quickly. So I guess I disagree a little bit with his point of that we, for the most part, have played the right way. They are getting away from that, and that really concerned me last night. I understand on the blue line there are guys out, so there are certainly mitigating factors here. But you cannot take periods off. And I don't know why this is a trend now, and it started, and it's interesting. The Blues are playing great. They scored, 8 goals last night in Nashville. Mm-hmm. And the Sharks are out of the playoffs, and they showed up last night, but they're not a good team, really. But in both cases, the Wild for sure took a period off. This is something that needs to be rectified quickly. Like, as we look at 8 games until the playoffs, the things that strike me is you need to start playing complete games. I don't care if you're tired. So that's back-to-back. I don't give a damn. The second thing is special teams has to pull its collective head out of its collective behind. Yeah. The power play is just atrocious. The penalty kill, I heard a stat on the Saturday ABC telecast, is the worst in the league since the All-Star break. Yeah. So, there are definitely things here. If you have any intention of finally making a playoff run, there are definitely things here where this team needs to get its act together and do it quickly, or else they are going to be staring down the barrel of being ousted in the first round by a Blues team that is super hot right now.
Wow. I did not. I did not expect that
Last
to be
night was not acceptable.
The opening statement from you on after the weekend of games. I mean, look, I hear you. I definitely hear you. They clinched their playoff spot. They rally for a big win last night. My guy Kevin Fiala explodes, gets robbed. I know Spurgeon got the tip, but come on, I want the 30-goal mark for God's sakes. I know what you're saying, man. It's a little bit of a sign of concern. It's actually, I think, remarkable too, Judd, just like how top heavy the Western Conference is. Like, the Wild are going to they're going to shatter their franchise record for points, right? Mm-hmm. Like, they have, I think, 5, 6 left here or so.
8 games left.
8 games left. 8 games left. So, they're going to shatter their franchise record for points and a ton of statistics.
Correct. That's 7 games.
7 games. But still, 14 possible more points, right? And we're going to shatter that. At the same time, Colorado had 100 points, I think, 6-7 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. St. Louis is damn good. Calgary's good. The Wild are good. There's so many teams that are so damn good right now. And luckily, the Wild got off to such a great start to the season. They hit that lull in February where things really kind of spiraled out, but then they dug themselves out a little bit after the trade deadline. There's definitely warts to their game. I guess I'm not as maybe sound the alarms as you are right now as it stands, but the special teams, I think I'll start there. Special teams has to be better. You literally cannot have the league's worst penalty kill and also not converting your power plays. I believe 0 for 5 last night on the power plays for the Wild.
Yes.
So you have to make hay there on your special teams, and you don't have to be a juggernaut. Like, you don't have to be cashing in every single one.
Right.
But for God's sakes, can you score 20% of the time on the power play? Right? Can you go 1 for 5 on those power plays? I'll take that. Can you kill off 4 out of those 5 penalties? Like, you got to be better on your special teams, and I think that's one area where playoff success and playoff time, those are the easiest ones where I look at them at a missed opportunity where you could have scored goals or prevented big goals.
Now there's a difference between what a coach says and what a coach does. Okay, on the power play last night, on which the Wild gave up a shorty. Actually, it was fairly quick to former Wild forward Nick Bonino.
Mm-hmm.
Dean Evison was so frustrated with Zuccarello and Kaprizov that he did not start them on the power play. He said he basically benched them.
Yeah.
So these are the type of things, but I mean, these are the type of things that need to be discussed as far as what the real concern is. Because like, you can be like, well, they won the game, or Dean sounded happy. Dean does a very good job of collecting himself during the cooling off period before he speaks.
Yeah.
And
there's a reason they do that.
He's fairly direct. Like I do give him credit. I wouldn't say he flat out sports lies, but he definitely spins, for the most part, a yarn of, I'm going to put the shiniest, happiest face on what's wrong here.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're benching Kaprizov and Zuccarello, who, by the way, had a bad game last night, and that's going to happen.
Yep.
But Mats was terrible last night. But that, to me, indicates the level of angst and frustration. And it comes back to, as Dean said, there were times on the power play last night where they just weren't shooting the puck anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're trying to pass. They do the thing that I absolutely hate, which is the going through neutral, trying to dump the pass backwards to get the guy to get the head of steam, which, by the way,
I've never been a fan.
Well, and it can lead to so many bad things. It can lead to, one wrong play and you're screwed. So I hate that. But anyway, these are the things that the Wild is dealing with. The St. Louis game on Saturday really concerned me because, one, I can't figure out for the life of me in the second period what the hell happened there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so you're taking a siesta in the second period of a game against a team that you're probably going to play?
Yeah.
And I heard some complaints about Talbot, and Fleury certainly was not great and all that sharp last night. But to me, those 2 games don't come down to the goalie, especially because Cam made some really nice saves against the Blues.
Yeah.
That game comes down to your level of engagement. And look, the Blues are a terror. Like, this is a terrible first-round matchup. Like you're getting a team that is red hot, that looks to me to be completely playoff prepared. Jordan Binnington now has started to come back and play decent, and Husso in goal is their top guy. So, to just get past the Blues is going to take a ton of work. It's not going to take taking a period off. You need to sharpen this thing up, as what Boone said to the umpire, tighten it up. As Aaron Boone said, tighten it up. You need to tighten it up and do it quickly.
I guess let's say the Wild, Judd, do have a road. They're on the road to start against St. Louis in the playoffs right now. The Wild have St. Louis is a game in hand. The Wild are down 1 point in the standings, so a lot can still change between now and the end of the regular season. But if the playoffs started today, I know there's the game in hand, but they'd be on the
Wild's
road.
got the game in hand, right?
The Wild
Blues
have
played
game
one more game.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Blues have 76,
Gotcha.
Wild have 75.
Thanks.
Let's say the Wild have to go to St. Louis, so they are the road team to start the playoffs. What is your confidence level that the Wild can win that series? Like percent chance.
With the way the Blues are playing right now, my confidence is it's dwindling because the Blues are playing well.
Yeah.
I'm just going to assume that the Wild does indeed tighten it up. I am going to say my confidence is 30%.
30% they can win, huh?
70%
For the Blues?
to the Blues. The Blues are playing that well.
Okay.
The Blues are playing that well. The Blues, and look, it's going to be a dogfight to get through that thing. Like, that's going to be an absolute. And I don't want to hear. Well, oh man, tired us out. I'm so sick of tired us out.
Yeah.
You know what the Blues did? The Blues beat the Wild in overtime on Saturday. Went to Nashville, which, by the way, also appears to have the Wild's number quite frequently, and kicked Nashville's ass. They scored 7 second period goals, okay?
Yeah.
So don't, we were tired against San Jose. I don't want to hear that stuff anymore. That's not the DNA of this team. And Dean knows that. Judd knows that. Declan knows that. That's not this team.
I take the Wild in a dogfight, but it's 7 games. It's going to be brutal. This is going to be an exhaustive series, and I'm excited. By the way, this is not just because St. Louis is a good team. It doesn't scare me. To me, it doesn't scare me. I think this is going to be such a fun series, and I think it's going to be physical as hell. And yeah, whoever gets the home ice advantage, I mean, it tilts a little bit that way. The Wild have been damn good at home this season, and they've shown the ability to make comebacks, which is good. They did it again last night, and I think their goalie tandem is really solidified here. But I'd take them in a playoff series, but it's going to be a dogfight, Judd. I can't wait for the series. I know there's still 5-6 games left, and a lot can still shift here on who gets the home ice. But it's obviously it's most likely going to be Wild in St. Louis, and now we're dogfighting it out.
It's going to be, right?
To get home ice.
It's going to be, right?
Yeah.
It's almost certainly 1,000%. Because the Predators now are too far back, and then they got their asses kicked last night by the Blues. Yeah, no, this should be great. But what I want to see is the Wild committed to the identity of what has become its game, which is to work your butts off, to work hard. Don't be cute. That's the one temptation here. It feels like this team has enough good players that they tend to get cute. And as I think it was Dean last night said, our identity is north-south.
Yeah.
We're not a cute team. We got players who can get cute, and the other thing is, for the love of God, I never thought I'd say this, Dumba and John Merrill, get them back. Alex Goligoski, oh my God, the Sharks scored a goal last night. I think it was in the third period. It might have been when they took the lead. Goligoski tried to ring the puck out, and it was lazy. It got picked off. The Sharks made a play, and then Goligoski just sort of became a passenger. Oh, my. The Ben, as I said to someone sitting by me last night, the Jordy Ben Goligoski pairing, it's like a broken car. It ain't running.
Yeah.
It ain't running. So, I mean, Merrill, I don't love him, but he's superior. Dumba obviously plays a role, but come on. That's awful.
Well, you know what, Judd? I think if I were you, I would, when you're coming home after a tough weekend of hockey, I think you should light a few candles and just relax a little bit.
That's a very good idea. And with Mom's Day right around the corner, and husbands and sons who are fans, and we appreciate that, of Judd's Hockey Show saying, I don't want a cliche gift this year for Mom. I don't want a cliche gift. I want something that I can buy. It's easy. But Mom opens it up and it's like, oh my goodness, what a pleasant surprise. And you know what? Spiral Light Candles to the rescue. SpiralLightCandles.com. They start at $14. They are shipped locally, so it's quick. Mm-hmm. It's local. That's great. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not Mr. Smell Test, but these things freshen up the house. It is off the charts. For the first time in my life, I'm telling Dawn, light candles. These things smell great. And she, on the first day that we got our sample box, Dawn got 4 more. She ordered 4 more, paid for them, said we are going to get more. So again, for Mom's Day, it is the perfect gift. It is great. Guys, if Judd is endorsing a candle, believe me, this candle is good. SpiralLightCandles.com, SpiralLightCandles.com. So now you've done a solid for Mom, right?
Yeah.
Or your wife. And now you're thinking, what can I do? What can I do to help myself? And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to talk to you about a company that has helped me big time. Our friends, Livia Weight Control Centers. And I have, starting today, a new offer, which is the new Simple Start plan, $59. $59. You get one-on-one personalized and guided support online or in person. So if you are a JHS fan and you're in Florida and you're like, Judd, this sounds great, but I can't join because I can't drive to see a dietitian. You don't have to. Jump online. $59 for the new Simple Start plan. 855, go LIVEA, Livia.com, LIVEA.com. So the candles take care of Mom or your wife. Livia takes care of you, lose the weight, and then the last thing is this, the most important thing, keep the weight off, because that's what we struggle with, guys. That's what we struggle to do. Livia.com is the place to go. Okay, so the power play, just back to your point, Declan Goff. Through last night now, last 7 games, 2 for 22. So can you explain to me, though, even with being cute, which I don't like, but anyway, can you explain to me how you can have a power play with Kaprizov and Zuccarello, who have the chemistry of Curry and Gretzky?
Yeah.
Like it's off the charts. How can you have a power play go that bad? I've never understood, and I've never gotten this. Why is it the Wild power play seems to either be really functioning well, like looking good, or it's off the charts bad? Like, how do we get to a happy medium of it's solid, and sometimes it gets hot, but how do you get this cold when you've got a guy like Fiala, Zuccarello, Kaprizov? I literally don't get what happens to the power play.
Yeah, it's frustrating because there's so many good chefs in your kitchen, right? Like obviously the narrative of too many chefs in the kitchen here, and I don't know. You don't really want to take away Zuccarello, Kaprizov because they obviously have such great chemistry on the top line, but they have a tendency to get cute. I think guys like Fiala and Boldy have shown more ability to shoot. Fiala can sometimes get too cute, which causes a turnover and makes you want to pull your hair out, but in general, he has a hell of a shot. They're missing Dumba. That's clear.
But he was on the second power play. I mean, he wasn't that important, or he shouldn't be that important to it, should he?
Well, I think he should be important to it, yes.
We both do, but I'm saying he wasn't, and this thing is like off the rails bad right now, which I don't understand.
Yeah, you have to cash in special teams in the playoffs. Like, this is why I don't get upset about faceoffs. Like, faceoffs when you lose, in my opinion, are like number 4 or 5 thing on the list that like why you lost the game. It doesn't come down to, yes, is it a part of it? Yes. It's on your pie chart of blame. I'm not denying that.
It's more important in your zone.
In your zone and in key situations.
Right.
But the cumulative face-off stats, I'm not going to look at those and be like,
gotcha.
Oh my God, you lost 40% of you lost 60% of your face-offs. Like,
gotcha.
I mean, you have other things that probably happened in that game that's why you really lost. But the power play you have to be better on. It's not going to be a good time if you're missing out going 0 for 6 on power plays. You have to cash in.
All right, so here's one thing I think that when the playoffs start has to happen. And Fiala is more likely to do this than Kirill. But here's what I want. Playoffs game 1. I want Kirill to get not dumb, but selfish.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But he's not at times. Like, he thinks he's part of this, and Zuccarello has turned out to be, believe me, 10 times the player that I thought, especially after his first disappointing, which I guess was an injury-plagued year here. But I want Kirill to be the star. I want him to be selfish. Even if it doesn't work, I would rather go down with Kirill Kaprizov trying to make the plays that I know he can make. And by the way, most guys just can't.
Yeah.
Like, that's my thing. And I know there's a fine line between being dumb and selfish and selfish and a star. But you know what I love? Wolves playing game, playoff game, right? Ant Edwards took that game by the throat and said, this is my game. And like, there's no question about that. And do I think he's being selfish and dumb? Absolutely not. That's what I want Kirill, and I know it's a cross-sport comparison, but that's what I want from Kirill. I don't want the extra pass. I don't want the, oh my God, did you see that goal? It was so pretty. I don't give a damn how you score them. Like, this is a tough love edition of JHS, all about the playoffs. Because they've clinched now, which is great. But this is a really good team. And to go back to what you've been saying, Dex, for quite some time now, now, I'm not going to be shocked if they don't beat the Blues. But like, if they lose in 4 or 5, I'm going to be extremely disappointed. Yeah. So like, I think the question and the tough love and the non just trying to be like, oh, they made the playoffs, isn't this cute? I think that conversation comes down to what the Wild is going to discuss internally, not externally, which is, how do we win these damn games?
Yeah.
I mean, the Blues are going to try to kick your ass. Let me be very clear. They're going to try to kick your ass. And just getting mad back ain't going to counter it.
No.
You got to go in with a plan to kick their ass back and to use your firepower. You know who Tarasenko, right? He's had a great year. Good for him. Awesome. But I guarantee you that he at times is going to be selfish, and he should be, and so should Kirill Kaprizov and Durant.
Yeah, I'm not as doom and gloom right now.
I'm not doom and gloom. I'm looking for, but what we don't do enough here in this town is we don't have real conversations.
Yeah.
We skirt the issues until the divorce happens, and then we just say irreconcilable differences. That's our problem.
This is Vikings beat writer Judd, who has seen numerous teams do this a ton of times.
I've seen the Wild do it.
And the Wild have done it. And to me, look, if they lose in the first round of the Blues, that's a massive disappointment. We talked about all these teams being top heavy in the Western Conference this year, the Wild being one of them, St. Louis being one of them. If you lose in the first round, it's a massive disappointment. This has been one of the better top to bottom Wild teams of my lifetime, and it's not bad luck that you get a tough draw against St. Louis to start things out. Like, you have to, as hard as it's going to be, you have to get past St. Louis. For God's sakes, the Timberwolves won a playoff game over the weekend and have a series lead, I should say, for the first time in over 6,000 days. The Wild have not won a playoff game or playoff series, in 7 years. It's been 7 years since this damn team has won they've been to the playoffs just as much as the Penguins have. They've been past the first round twice.
Yeah, no, you're
so
100% right.
Get
Tough
past
love.
the first round. Tough love. I get it. And you know what? When I had the tough love, I crack open a Surly Furious, which I did numerous times over Easter weekend.
And so here's the best part. Me too. And here's the best part. You know what? So it's looking as if games 3 and 4 will be at the X, right, Declan Goff?
Yeah.
You know, when I walk to the press box, do you know what I walk by? I walk by a cooler that is stocked with Surly Furiouses. And what better way to enjoy playoff hockey than with a beer that already has a Stanley Cup ring or two? Because damn it, Surly has won championships.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the team hasn't, but the beer has. So yes, as Dex just said, enjoy Surly Brewing products. Personally, I go towards Furious. Dex, you're what?
I'm a little over the place. I mean, I like a Supreme. I like I love a hyper modern IPA.
Oh God, the hyper modern is good.
I love the Warp Zone when I'm in the tap room, which is a tap room exclusive. That's the best thing. There's tap room exclusives.
Yep.
There's a lot of great options at Surly Brewing, which I love.
Yep. Final word is this: Kevin Fiala last night. That is why you will see, and you do see a ton of this now. Pay the man his money.
Yeah, you got to pay him. You have to pay him.
Dex,
I don't know how.
But here's the thing, So he played. I think he failed to play a complete game on Saturday. Like he wasn't like noticeably awful, but he didn't play a complete game. And I don't know if he was talked to. It certainly seemed like that, or if he just basically recognized it. But this is another guy. Come playoff time, I got to see that guy. Mm-hmm. And I know they're going to make his life tough, but I don't really care. I need to see that guy. That guy last night took the game over. Mm-hmm. And as you said, he essentially, I don't care if Spurgeon tipped in the puck, he scored that goal.
Yeah.
And he was fantastic.
Yeah.
And a goal, 3 assists, plus 2 or 3, just incredibly engaged. And he is a star player when he's doing that.
Yeah. I mean, he has 73 points now in 75 games, which is pretty remarkable if you think about how he got off the first 30, 40 games of the season. But even going back the last 189 games since he really broke onto the scene pre-COVID, I mean, 167 points in 189 games, 14 game-winning goals. Like, the dude has big playability to him. And with all the focus, I think that it will be on Kirill Kaprizov and Zuccarello and Hartman in that top line. He's going to benefit. He's going to benefit in a huge amount. And I'm happy to see him get rewarded. He needs a payday. I don't know how that happens. Salary cap is not a myth in the NHL.
It's going to be rough.
So
it's going to be very rough.
You're going to have to figure out how to pay that man, but pay that man his money.
All right, we are done here. Before anybody thinks that we have been too hard on the Wild, keep in mind we want to see them pursue the Silver Chalice, and if you're going to do that, tough love is the only way. Shall we hear from Billy Guerin?
Listen, you guys know what this is all about, right? Right? What's it all about? Spurgey?
Hard work and having fun.
That. This is about winning.